ॐ श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Every chapter in the Bhagavad Gita, ends with this line. Om Tat Sat Iti Srimad Bhagavad Gitasu Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade, and so on. Which means in this Samvada dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna, in this Bhagavad Gita Samvada, there are these two topics: Brahma Vidya or Sankhya Jnanam and Yoga Shastra. So, what is Yoga Shastra? Yoga Shastra is the supporting shlokas and the chapters which support a seeker of moksha. That is, Gita is often called the Moksha Shastra. It is Brahma Vidya is the main topic, but there is the auxiliary side topics which are supporting the pursuit of this jnana. So we have Sri Krishna, addressing these verses. We have seen Amanitvam Adambitvam in chapter 13, then Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhihi Jnana Yoga Vyavasthitihi in chapter 16. So 16 and 17, they are called Yoga Shastra chapters. Why? Because they polish this Prakrita Manas and help us gain the Sadhana Chatushtaya Adhikaritvam, the prepared, polished, purified mind that can receive the teachings of Brahma Vidya. Yeah, very important two chapters. And we have just concluded chapter 16, where we saw that the Prakrita Manas, under the grip of Rajas and Tamas, leads to Asuriya Sampatti. And Asuriya Sampatti is the gateway to hell, Krishna says, to embodiments of pain and suffering. Whereas Samskrita Manas, the cultivated, polished, prepared, purified mind, is endowed with a Daivi Sampat. And the Daivi Sampat is the gateway to moksha, and that is peace, freedom, and liberation. So, the last chapter, ends with a very important shloka where Krishna said, Tasmat Shastram Pramanam Te Karya Karya Vyavasthitau Jnatva Shastra Vidhanoktam Karma Kartum Iharhasi. Where Krishna tells Arjuna, having gained this precious human birth, now go by the Shastra. The Shastra, the Veda Mata, and Gita itself is Veda Sara. Go by the Shastra. Shastra is the instruction manual for life. And the Shastra has all the vidhanas, instructions, the mandates, what is to be done, karya, and what is to be avoided, akarya. Let this be the guiding light. And we know that, the Shastras of our Sanatana Dharma is the only Shastra which has unique topics like Swarga, Narakalokas, Atrishta, Papa, Punyam, Punarjanma. All this the Shastra talks about. So, Krishna is advising Arjuna that you go by the Shastra. And then, having gained a Samskrita Manas, you prepare the mind by introspection, self-examination, and making all the aspects of life sattvic. So that is why these two chapters, 16 and 17, are meant to fine-tune the mind. And they give us these lifestyle tips to upgrade the quality of life so that, we become sattva guna pradhana seekers, yeah, with the Samskrita manas. And this chapter 17 is titled Shraddha Traya Vibhaga Yoga chapter. So Krishna is going to highlight the role and importance of Shraddha. Now the word Shraddha we have come across so many times. And this, when we say faith and trust, it's a very poor translation. Remember, Shraddha is one of the 6 disciplines in Shatka Sampattihi of Sadhana Chatushtayam. Shamaha, Damaha, Uparatihi, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhanam. We have seen this in Tattvabodha, how they prepare and polish the mind. And Krishna himself has said in the Gita earlier in chapter 4, Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. So the one who is endowed with Shraddha, be it in any field, will gain success. No? The patients need to have Shraddha in the treatment of the doctor. The students have to have Shraddha in the teaching and in their preparation for exams and interviews. No? Then what to speak about, Shraddha for a mumukshu. So that the whole topic chapter is about how Krishna is going to analyze Shraddha based on the Guna model. What is Satviki Shraddha, Rajasi Shraddha, and Tamasika Shraddha? With respect to a few aspects of life. Now, this chapter begins with Arjuna's question. Arjuna uvacha ye shastra vidhimutsrijya yajante shraddhayanvitaha tesham nishtatuka Krishna sattvamaho rajastamaha. Arjuna has this doubt. What is this doubt? He says, Krishna, you are advising us to follow the Shastra. Let the Shastra be the guiding light. But how many people can access the Shastras? Vedas, definitely only a minority because they are in Sanskritam and you need a guru for that. The Gita also, who is going to decode the mandates and the instructions? So if there are people, Krishna, who are religious, who are committed, who have Shraddha, but they don't understand the instructions properly, what is their fate? Are they Satvika, are they Rajasika, or Tamasa? For example, if somebody wants to do Satyanarayana Puja, then how to know which direction to face, what Naivedyam to offer, which mantras to chant? So even I have Shraddha, but I need to, know all the instructions properly. This is Arjuna's question at the opening of chapter 70. Then Bhagavan answers, Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, Trividha Bhavati Shraddha Dehinam Sa Svabhavaja, Satviki Rajasi Chaiva, Tamasi Cha Iti Tam Shrinu. Shrinu, listen Arjuna, it all depends on Shraddha. Yeah, it all depends on Shraddha. And that Shraddha is born of Swabhava. The innate disposition. So here, generally we say Shraddha is to have an open, willing, trusting mind. Yeah, Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. But here in this chapter, we are going to see Shraddha is the temperament that we are born with, the disposition, what kind of commitment, dedication I have, what is the attitude in my mind. And where does it come from? From my own nature. And what is my nature, Swabhava? Guna composition. So we have all taken birth in this life with a capital of samskaras. Samskaras are impressions of all that we have experienced in the past. All the past lifetimes. They are like software. Set of samskaras we are born with. And then those samskaras, they bubble up into thoughts. Conscious thoughts. And then thoughts or ragadveshas will manifest as verbally and as actions. Then actions are going to become crystallize into habits, and then habits become personality and destiny, and that's where we are. So Krishna says in the third shloka, Yo yat shraddhaha saha eva saha. So a person is nothing but the outcome of his or her shraddha. What is my inclination in life? When I get up early in the morning, what do? Are we chanting Pratha Smarana Stotram? Are we doing meditation and yoga and being calm and contemplative? Or am I switching on the mobile phone and checking the stocks and shares? Or am I still asleep, not having gotten over the hangover of drugs or alcohol the previous day? So one is sattvic, rajasic, tamasic. So Krishna says that how do I celebrate festivals in life? What is the company I keep? The books I read, the dress choices, food choices, all depends upon my Shraddha. So that innate temperament, the Shraddha, will attract, these kind of preferences and inclinations in life. So Krishna says it all depends upon Shraddha. And so based on the Guna model now, Bhagavan is going to analyze a few aspects of life and analyze them as per the three gunas. So we have already studied this chapter, some of us in great detail, that Krishna is going to discuss the mode of worship, then ahara, bhojanam, then yajna, then tapas, and then finally dhanam. Yeah, 4 or 5 aspects of life, and that is how it's going to go. So there are these topics in this chapter. The first few verses are about Arjuna's question, and Krishna answering 3 types of Shraddha. Then 7 to 10 we have what are the types of food? How can we categorize food into sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic? Then yajna. Yajna is karmas, no? My offerings of my activities. Then tapas. In fact, the threefold analysis of tapas takes up 6 shlokas in this. No? One is at the level of the instrument, sharirika tapas, manasika, vachika, and then how they can be sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic. Then dhanam. Dhanam keeps coming again and again. So important and has a very high value. Then finally, we are going to see the powerful mantra, Om Tat Sat, Om Tat Sat, and what is the role of that powerful mantra? It is said Brahmadev is supposed to have started Srishti with these 3 words, which are the triple designation for Brahman. Now first, let us go to the mode of worship. So in the 4th shloka, Krishna starts with, what would be a sattvic mode of worship? And says those, sattvic people, they will worship the Vedic deities. Vedic deities are Surya, Chandra, Rudra, Narayana, Saraswati, Rama, Krishna also later on. And what is the motive for the mode of worship? Will be Antakarana Shuddhi. So we know that there is always a sankalpa before the puja. I say mamopata samasta durita kshayartham narayana prityartham. So let this puja or this worship of mine that I'm doing every day, the Deva Yajna, may that be to cleanse me of the impurities, the papas I've done in the past, and may it please Narayana. So when we do any worship or a puja to appreciate the, Bhagavan, and we are in the gratitude mode, and we are doing the puja not only to remove the impurities but also for Loka Sangraha, that is Sattvic. So that is the first shloka. The 4th, Yajante Sattvika Devan, appreciating Ishvara. Then what would be the Rajasic mode of worship? Yaksha Rakshanse Rajasaha. So the Rajasic bent of mind, such people will worship the demigods, let's say. The demigods are the Yakshas and, or the gods like Kubera, and Indra, Kubera, Indra, Kinnaras, no? For what? For some materialistic ambition to be fulfilled, for the sake of name, fame, glory, power. And so their mode of worship will also be very ostentatious. Loudspeakers are blaring, and they are just putting on a big show. But it is rajasic because it is for the sake of fulfilling personal ambitions and greed. Rajas. Then tamasic, pretan bhutagananscha anye yajante tamasa janaha. So there are people, these asuras we saw in the previous chapter, they will worship whom? They will worship the bhutas, the ghosts and the departed spirits, and their mode of worship will be extremely tamasic. It is said they will be dancing on cremation grounds and applying vibhuti. And you may have heard or seen this kavadi, you know. So I have seen it where there are people who pierce their skin with hooks and nails, to please the Devi. Yeah. But nowhere in the Shastra it is said that you must torture your body to please Bhagavan. So this is a tamasika worship, and in fact, some people practice witchcraft and black magic to hurt others. No? So they want to acquire power in order to destroy the world or destroy somebody. This is definitely the tamasika worship. Then Krishna now comes to the main four topics, and the first of them is ahara. Ahara is bhojanam, and we know that bhojanam is like puja for us. Vaishwanaraha puja. Bhojanam means I offer it's like offering Naivedyam to the Agni Devata in me, Vaishwanara Devata. So I will be very careful about the source of the food. Did I buy the food with illegally earned money? How was it cooked? Who cooked it? With what bent of mind? Were the mantras chanted? Yeah, is it overcooked, undercooked? And what is the place and surroundings? That's why our elders and ancestors never went out to eat much, because the motive will be very different. The motive will be profit. I'm selling food, so that is the motive. But no, this Satvika people, they will be very careful about the food. And in our culture also, the food is analyzed also in a very deep way. So it says stavishtaha. Stavishtaha means the gross part of the food will be eliminated by the body as waste. Yeah. Then the middle part, madhyama part of the food is that nutritive content. Today we all know about antioxidants and omega fatty acids, and then all these nutritive value. So that these superfoods, that is the absorption. How well is the nutritive food aspect of the food absorbed in our system for everything, gut health, brain health, heart health. This is the madhyama part of the food. But the final part, that is the anishtha, the subtlemost part of the food is the prana in it. That impacts the mind. So that is the purity. That is the sattva guna in the food, prasidati. Prasidati means that is the quality of the food is going to make my mind cheerful and give me the emotional balance. We may have tried this also for taste. If you go to McDonald's or KFC, then some of us can notice the rajasic nature of the mind immediately after that. There will be gas and acidity, and the mind will be wandering. It will not settle down. There will not be a pleasant, pleasing feeling of after having taken the food. So now Krishna is giving us guidelines about what kind of food would be sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic. Now I know food is a highly debated topic, so these are only guidelines. Yeah. And these guidelines are mainly meant for a seeker of moksha. Now, we can't enforce a vegetarian diet for rajasic professions like army, or kings, kshatriyas. So these are mainly guidelines for mumukshus who want to make everything sattvic. So here we have the shlokas number 8, 9 and 10 are talking about sattvika ahara, rajasika ahara and tamasika ahara. Ayu sattva balarogya sukha priti vivardhanaha rasya snigha sthira hrityaha ahara sattvika priyaha. So those who have a sattvic bent of mind, sattvic shraddha, they will want the sattvic food. Sattvic food is that which is pleasing and nourishing, strengthening, and which is very attractive also, presentable, and it will enhance what ayuhu, longevity, and it is creamy, it is juicy. All this is this asattvika food. And the Upanishad say aushadhibhyoho annam. Food is essentially, basically vegetarian, fruits of the earth. Then what is Rajasika? In the 9th shloka, you see, Katvamla Lavanat Yushna Tikshna Ruksha Vidahinaha. So anything that is excessive in taste, too salty, too spicy, pungent, hot, bitter, astringent, all these tastes, when they are not balanced, then they can cause pain, inflammation. The doctors know this very well, acidity and indigestion and all these things. So, Krishna says, Dukkha Shokamaya Pradaha, Amaya Pradaha. They will cause disease and Shoka, sorrow also. Then the 10th shloka talks about Tamasika food. Tamasika food is Yata Yamam. Yamam is a measure of time. When the food that is cooked is, over 3 hours, then it comes under Yata Yamam. That muhurta is over for the food. No? Of course, in those days, there were no refrigerators. Today, we have this convenience and some people refrigerate, but people who are, who are very strict about food will not have even the food cooked in the morning, in the evening. But we can, we can store it and then eat it. It's as per the convenience of the person's eating. There is no hard and fast rule here. Okay. Then the foods that are either overcooked, gatarasam, or undercooked. That is the rasa, that is the value of the food is gata, is gone. We have overcooked it or undercooked it. And then, of course, any food that is unfit even to be offered as naivedyam is called amedhya. Amedhya means you cannot offer. Then how we can offer to our own Agni Devata? So that includes, stimulants and alcohol and drugs and then non-vegetarian food. All this will come under the Tamasika category. So then it is said that we must eat only that which is fit to be offered to Bhagavan. That is called Medhya. The Swamiji will say, Puja Swamiji will say that I consider that house a real home where a fire is lit, no microwave cooking, and where mantras are chanted, fresh food is available, and people are eating peacefully. That is really a home. That is blessed. Now, that was the Ahara topic. The next topic is Yajna. Now, you see how systematically Krishna is analyzing certain aspects of our daily life in a threefold way based on the Guna model. Next is Yajna. Now, Yajna we have seen in chapter 3 already, Bhagavad Gita. Yajna means an offering unto Ishvara. Now, we see that in nature, they're all following a Yajna based cycle, is it not? The sun is offering clouds, clouds is offering rain, rain is offering herbs, herbs is offering food, food is offered to us, to eat. So here there is a shloka which says that any ritual that we do. Now today in modern times we don't do many Vedic rituals. No, Shrauta karmas may have gone down, but Smarta karmas are smriti based karmas, pujas, homas, havans, panchamahayajnas, no? All of them. How to do them? How are they going to be classified? So here Krishna says, here we have yajna. So yajna is aphala kankshibhihi yajnaha. So that yajna which is done as per the scriptures, as per the offering. Now, aphala kankshibhihi means without any expectations. Yeah. And you follow the vidhi properly without any expectations on the result and for the sake of a loka sangraha. That would be a sattvika yajna or an action. So such performers would come under the category of contributors. Yeah? Now here, we have often talked about the Pancha Mahayajnas. No? Pancha Mahayajnas are Bhuta Yajna, Deva Yajna, Pitra Yajna, Brahma Yajna, and Manushi Yajna. These are mandated by the Shastras for the Grihasthas. So this would also come in here. When I perform all these yajnas, whether I'm helping my fellow people around me, the community or society, or I'm honoring the rishi tradition, or I'm protecting the environment, bhuta yajna, or I'm doing these rituals in honor of the departed ancestors or even the elders still alive. And deva yajna, pujas. If I do all of them without an eye towards the result, not even for the sake of punyam, then that would be a sattvika yajna. Then what is the rajasika yajna? Same logic. Rajasika yajna is abhisandhayatu phalam dambhartam api chaivayat. So the one who performs a yajna or a puja very ostentatiously for the sake of power, name, and fame, like sometimes we see lavish weddings happening, running into lakhs, lavish weddings, and lot of show is there, food may be wasted also, but all for the sake of publicity. There'll be cameramen running around, for the sake of publicity that this great event happened. Definitely, it's a Rajasika yajna. Then Tamasika yajna is that which is Vidihinam. That is, violates all the mandates of the Shastras. Yeah. That is, the people performing the puja, the yajna, they are not chanting the mantras properly. They give insufficient dakshina to the priests, and they have no shraddha whether it will bear result, and the naivedyam is also not prepared proper. Sometimes some people feel compelled to do yajnas, maybe through their elders, or they feel they have to get a name, but they perform that puja and yajna without any sound sattvic attitude, just for the sake of finishing it off. And that is a tamasika shraddha, tamasika yajna. So, like this, Krishna continues, and the next category is that of tapas. Now, in tapas, tapas means what? Austerity. We have seen this many times. Tapas comes from that root tap. Tap means to burn. Now, what are we burning with tapas? We are burning the impurities of the mind. Impurities of the mind. And so there are varieties of tapas, like fasting, keeping maunam, going on a pilgrimage. Yeah. It is some kind of voluntarily I deny myself the comfort. So when I perform these vows, like Shivaratri, we stay up the whole night, keep vigil, that is a tapas. And Ramana Maharishi will say pursuit of knowledge is the highest tapas. So attending Zoom classes is a very good tapas. So attending these sessions, whether it's Gita or Upanishad, consistently, without a break, is truly tapas. Because what is the impurity we are removing here? Ajnanam, ignorance. Yeah, we are inviting knowledge by removing. So it is a symbolic jnana yajna. So here it's a jnana tapas or jnana yajna, both you can call it. So now what Krishna does is, first he takes up Sharirika tapas in shloka number 40. देवद्विजगुरुप्राज्ञपूजनं शौचमार्जवं ब्रह्मचर्यमहिंसा च शारीरं तप उच्यते. So what would we call physical tapas? On the physical plane, at the level of the body, Krishna says, may one show respect to devatas, to elders, to wise people, to our gurus. By doing pradakshina, by doing prostration, dandavat pranams, pujanam. That would be at the level of the body. Then shaucham. Shaucham is the hygiene, keeping the hygiene, physical and mental hygiene. Arjavam, straightforwardness. Then brahmacharya is restraint, balance in life. That is a sharirika tapas. Then ahimsa. Ahimsa is non-injury. All this Krishna in 14 shloka says a sharirika tapas. Then we come to the vachika level. The vachika is the verbal level. Now the verbal level is the level of the speech. So Krishna says in 15, Anudvegakaram vakyam satyam priyahitam chayat swadhyayabhyasanam chaiva vangmayam tapa uchyate. So this vachika tapas is about speech. Very, very important. So how can I speak words that are satyam, priyam and hitam? Satyam bruyat. There is a subhashitam. Anritam na bruyat. So, may one speak the truth, but the truth which is pleasing and beneficial to others. And then speak also when somebody is interested in listening. Swamiji will say, don't just grab hold of anybody and keep on talking, giving your history about your life and your marriage and your job and everything. That person, poor man, maybe he wants to catch a bus or he's in a hurry. So, measured talking, talk when it's necessary, talk sweetly, beneficially, and remain silent if in case of doubt. So, to understand the power of words is to have Vangmayam tapas. So, Krishna says, may the speech be Anudvegakaram. Anudvegakaram means may it not agitate, Udvegam, may it not generate Udvegam in the minds of the listener. When we hear some news, then if we go and say, do you know what happened? Then the other person will be very curious and will be startled. So let our speech be anudvegakaram, soft and pleasant. And also, may they not be flattering or, hypocritical or exaggeration. All this will come under Vangmayam tapas. Then the Manasika tapas in 16th, Krishna says, Manas prasada saumyatvam maunamatma vinigraha bhava samshuddhirityetat tapaha manasam uchyate. So the Manasika tapas is at the level of the mind. So is the mind cheerful? Am I having pure, sankalpas and intentions in the mind? How is my sukshma shariram? Am I engaging in self-blame, self-criticism? Then that is himsa. So to have a sound appreciation of oneself and also of one's surrounding, purity of intention, and also uncluttered mind. The mind that is focused and peaceful and cheerful is to have manasikam tapas. So that is the threefold tapas at the level of the body, of level of the verbal level, and of the mind level. Then Krishna talks about how can these, the threefold tapas, be sattvic, rajasic and tamasic. And that is from the 17th shloka. Shraddhaya paraya taptam tapastat trividham naraihi aphala kankshibhir yuktaihi sattvikam pari chakshate. So if I do any tapas, any religious austerities, no, for the sake of antakarana shuddhi. So I'm not doing it as to show off, to present a show and ostentatiously, then that is satvika tapas. Some people will fast for many days. That also Shastra says no. So we have Ekadashi fasting twice a month, poram. So that 2 days in a month will detoxify the body. We will regain the emotional balance. Yeah, it will restore the gut health. Also, that balance is always seen here. Balance of spices, balance of the tastes, and balance of how much tapas we do. That also will come under sattva. That is called satvikam. Then satkara mana pujatam tapo dambhena. Then again the tapas which one does, anybody does for the sake of dambha, arrogance and as a show, that would be a rajasika tapas. Some people do fire walking, fire walking. So that Shastra says, to please Bhagavan and to have internal purity, we don't need all these, these kinds of tapas, Rajasika tapas. Then what is Tamasika tapas? Mudha grahena atmanaha yat pidaya kriyate tapaha. The tapas that is done by which there is self-torture and torturing others, causing harm and destruction. That would be the Tamasika tapas. So these are the destroyers. No? Rajasika are the consumers and Sattvika are the true contributors towards peace and well-being in the world. Now, after finishing these, Krishna now comes to the last aspect of life, and that is Dhanam. Now, Dhanam is an act of contribution, is an offering. So it can be financial Dhanam, there are various kinds of Dhanam, no? Kanya Dhanam also we say in our culture, no? When the girl is given away in marriage, Kanya Dhanam, Vastra Dhanam, Pashu Dhanam, when we donate, a Godhanam is there. So whatever is a capacity, the Dhanam can be done as per the capacity. So now Krishna starts with the Dhanam topic in 20th shloka and says Datavyam. Namiti taddanam diyate nupakarine deshe kale cha patre cha taddanam satvikam smritam. Now Dhanam, why is Dhanam such a high value in our culture? Because Dhanam will remove the sense of attachment. This belongs to me. I am so wealthy. No? So Dhanam is, given importance so that I may understand that I don't really own anything, nor am I afraid of losing anything. Yeah. So it purifies the mind. No? So the mind of the donor is purified by sharing. Dhanam is really sharing. Sharing and being a contributor. And Dhanam prepares one for renunciation. Yeah, ultimately I have to give up my ego sense also, no? The I, me and mine. So let me start with the possessions and share what I have in abundance with the not so, privileged others around me. So now Krishna says in 20th, what is Satvika Dhanam? That Dhanam which is diyate, given, anupakarine, by somebody who cannot return the favor. Yeah, so really the needy, helpless people, it can be elderly people or children, we pay for their college fees or school fees, they are not earning yet. And elderly people also, when we give them medical aid, they are thankful, or differently abled people, who cannot in any way reciprocate this dhanam. Yeah? That is considered very highly meritorious by the Shastras. And Deshe Kaleja Patrecha, may one share or donate at the right time, at the right place to a deserving, worthy recipient. The Swamiji will say, what's the point of donating blankets in summer in Chennai? Nobody needs it. so, so like that, we have to see, what kind of dhanam am I doing? An alcoholic, if you give dhanam, we know what's going to happen. He will go and buy more stimulants. No? So we have to do our homework and see who is a deserving recipient and right place and time. Shastra goes on to say that, the time of eclipse and the sacred times are there, muhurtas are there, and places like kshetrams in pilgrimage centers. If you do dhanam, then the merit is thousandfold. But let us start where we are. So that is a sattvika dhanam. Then Rajasika Dhanam Yatta Pratyapakarartham Phalam Uddishya Vapunaha. So these are the dhanams done by politicians and leaders, who promise all kinds of gifts before the elections. And with the phalam anudishya. Their I is for the sake of propaganda, result. I will gain name, power, fame through this. Or it can also be Rajasic if one is giving grudgingly. It's causing pain. Oh, I have to part with this, because I've been asked to donate. So if it causes pain to the giver, it's called a Rajasic Dhanam. So our culture says that, in fact, the giver is more blessed than the receiver. So we must think that how blessed I am. I'm able to donate, and it is Ishvara's gift. I'm sharing it with others. And Shastra even says one must have an element of fear. What if the recipient does not accept my gift? That will be so sad and embarrassing for me. So this is a Sattvika donor. But Rajasika donors are eyeing towards, the result always. Then Tamasika is the Tamasika donor is the one who will keep postponing. So somebody is requiring help, and the Tamasika donor says, "Oh, tomorrow, come back next week, next month, definitely I will give you." Or it is given with contempt and disgust. We see this also around us. If somebody is not up to our level, who are more needy than us, then the power and authority of the person can be such that I am the giver, and then one can give with disgust even. Okay, now get lost. Yeah, because I don't want to see your face again. Take this, be happy, and get lost. That is Tamasika Dhanam. And also here Krishna says that Adesha Kale Yad Dhanam. So giving Dhanam to somebody who doesn't need it, and at the wrong time, at the wrong place, to one who does not need what you want to give. Sometimes when we have excess of something like clothes or vessels, we do this cleaning up of the house. Then we want to get rid of things that we don't need. Yeah. So, but we have to give the people what they need at that time. So this would be a Tamasika Dana. So then, now Krishna has so far, based on the Guna model, has covered the mode of worship, then Ahara, Yajna, then Tapas and Dhanam in a threefold way, dividing it into Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. So we can see all this is based on Shraddha. Now in the 23rd shloka, Krishna is going to introduce this powerful mantra, Om Tat Sat. Now, we have seen the role of Shraddha so far highlighted in this chapter. The Shraddha is that inclination, inclination or the tendency and the preference. Now, even if we do Yajna Dhanam Tapas, 18th chapter it comes to Natyajam, may one never give up these three, Yajna, Dhanam and Tapas. Why? Pavanani Manishanam. They purify the mind. So whatever is the capacity, may we always engage in this so that it will give me Antakarna Shuddhi and prepare me for the higher knowledge. Having said that, even when we perform these activities, what is likely to happen? Defects can creep in. Yeah, I may not have chosen the right time, or some mantras I would have chanted wrongly. Yeah, so these are called lapses or omissions and commissions in all these karmas in a puja. That is why at the end of a puja, we have Kshama Prarthana. In Anekati, there is a long Kshama Prarthana. Tantra lope, mantra lope, kriya lope, shraddha lope, karya lope, kala lope. Lope means omission. So the priest is praying on behalf of all of us, all the devotees, that, oh Lord, there would have been so many omissions and commissions with regard to chanting, time, naivedyam, preparation, or bhakti. Maybe my mind was distracted by the phone and my mind went away. Please, hey Prabhu, you overlook all of this. So here is the mantra that is going to sanctify all those actions and neutralize those defects. And that mantra is Om Tat Sat. Very powerful mantra. Om Tat Saditi Nirdeshaha Brahmanastrividha Smritaha Brahmanastena Vedascha Yajnascha Vihita Pura. So in the concluding verses, Krishna introduces these three mantras, and we are familiar with all of them. All the three are designating or calling Brahma. So it's called the triple designation or nama for Brahma. Now, Om, some of us have studied it in great detail, Kathopanishad and Rama Gita. Om is Avati Rakshati iti Om. That which protects is Om. And Tat is the Sarvanama. Tat is that which is referring to Brahma. But a Brahma which is Indriya Agocharaha, Aprameyaha. That which is not tangible and physical is there. It's like, the chapter 15. We saw the analogy of the Samsara Vrikshaha, no? Urdhvamulam Ashvattham Prahurapyayam. Urdhvamulam. The tree is visible and tangible, but not the root. So Tat refers to the invisible force or that power or Ishvara sustaining the tree of life. And Om refers to the nourishing, protecting aspect of Ishvara. And Sat is short for Satyam. Satyam is the Nityavastu, is the permanent one. So when we utter Om Tat Sat, it will neutralize the impurities and the shortcomings and defects and make the action complete and auspicious. So you would have noticed many acharyas and many ashrams, they conclude their talk, Om Tat Sat. And some even begin. You can begin also, Om Tat Sat. So to have an auspicious thing. In a post office in Shivananda ashram, when they've finished packing everything, addressing the labels, postage, everything is done, then Om Tat Sat. So may it reach the desired destination without any problems. So any action, you're doubtful of an action, did I do correct, or was something went wrong? Just say Om Tat Sat. But again, we can't say Om Tat Sat mechanically. Again, Om Tat Sat has to be uttered with Shraddha. No? Oh Lord, I have made mistakes and Om Tat Sat, you please purify this action and make it auspicious. So that is why when we, give, some people say if we give dhanam to somebody and then that somebody uses your money for a wrong purpose to purchase drugs, then what kind of dhanam is it? From your side, you have done with a sattvic intention, right? And you even said Om Tat Sat. So that has the power to influence the receiver. So it has the power to change the mind of the receiver. And if it does not change, then it is not your karma. Because once the money has left your hand, we have to detach and not worry about it, about what happened to the money. So that is that person's karma now. But I have done it with a sattvic intention. So these concluding verses, very powerful mantra, Om Tat Sat. And it is believed that these three mantras, Om Tat Sat, Brahmadev uttered them at the time of Srishti. So Srishti begins with Om Tat Sat, and then the Srishti cycle begins. Now, in the end, you see the last shloka here. अश्रद्धया हुतं दत्तं तपस्तप्तं कृतं च यत् असदित्युच्यते पार्थ न च तत्प्रेत्य नो इह. So in the end, Krishna says, the one who performs anything, hutam means an offering, datta means danam, taptam means tapas, kritam means karma. So when anybody does any of these karmas, ahara, yajna, danam, tapas, ashraddhaya, without shraddha, without shraddha, then what does Krishna says? Asat iti uchyate. That whole action is as good as useless, asat, if it is done without shraddha. Now, asat means it is not going to benefit us either here or hereafter, in the future. Na cha tat pretya na u iha. That's the last, shloka here. So it serves no purpose, Krishna is saying here. Like an example we can see, if I'm doing puja, then if the person while offering abhishekam is thinking, why am I offering so many liters of milk? I might as well share it with the needy children, who don't have access to milk. Or if ghee is being offered in Panchamritam, then the person is calculating the cost of ghee. 1,000 rupees per kilo. Why am I putting ghee on the stone? That is called ashraddha. If you have money, you spend more milk and donate. But we cannot go against the mandate of the Shastra. So the Shastra says offer milk, then we have to go by the Shastra. So if the mind is judging and finding excuses to, not do these actions, if there is no Shraddha, then that will amount to asat. It will be wasted time, wasted effort, wasted money, and all the resources. There will be no punyam later nor now. So then finally, what is the message here of this whole chapter? Shraddha. Shraddha is astikya buddhi. In Tattva Bodha, we have seen the question, Shraddha ka astikya buddhi. What is astikya buddhi? Guru Vakesha Shastresha Satya buddhi. That is, I have to follow the instructions of the Guru and the Shastra. Guru always comes with the Shastra. So may one follow the Shastras. So finally, the hidden message that Krishna wants to give Arjuna is, Arjuna, you have to perform a karma. That is so, Uttishta, prepare yourself for the battle and you have to do your karma in the form of a yajna. And so perform this karma yoga with Shraddha, Sattviki Shraddha, with detachment and with a Sattvic intention, not eyeing the result. Think of me and fight. And what will happen? Such an attitude with which one performs the actions will give the purity of the mind, the internal balance, the antakarna shuddhi, and eventually you will gain the knowledge of the essential identity with me. Jiva, Ishvara, Aikya, Jnanam will be there for you. Om Asato ma Sadgamaya Tamaso ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ